The Electric Rodeo is an adult toy megastore podcast about sex, toys, pleasure, and relationships.
It contains adult themes, adult language, and probably too much information about our sex lives.
Sorry, Mum. Kia ora, everyone. Welcome to the Electric Rodeo. I'm your host, Emma Hewitt.
And I know what you did last night.
Ooh,
Touch ball!
do you?
Why are you nervous? Why do you sound nervous?
I'm not nervous. There's nothing to be nervous about.
No, definitely not. I mean, I would know. As I said, I would know.
This has just got me thinking, though. You know how you never know any of my 19s film references?
Yes.
Please tell me you do know this one.
Is the movie called I Know What You Did Last Summer?
Yes.
Okay, see, this is the thing. You always give me shit and say that I don't know the references. I do. I haven't seen them. I know the reference. I knew that was the name of the movie.
That's a good movie. You should watch that.
Sure. Do you want to make a list for me?
Yeah, I do. Anyway, that's not what we're here to discuss. We're not here to drag Tash for being such a young, perfect angel.
Another positive adjective just for the road?
Good-natured.
All right, cool.
Any more requests from me, Tash?
No. Let's get on with the episode.
Happy with that. Okay.
What are we doing?
We're actually here to talk about toys.
Yay!
But specifically, we're here today to talk about toys that we think are underrated.
Yeah, this is exciting. We're going to talk about some more fringe sex toys to some people.
Yeah.
You know, probably fringe from the mainstream, not fringe to some people. Again, if you're an expert listening to this, you'll be like, light work. But yeah, we're going to talk about some toys that you probably don't hear enough about.
Yeah.
And then at the end, we're also going to talk about toys that we hear too much about.
Yeah, and we're fucking over it, all right? Well, we're calling them the overrated sex toys.
Yeah.
But it's like, take everything that we say in this whole episode, please, with a grain of salt, because we can give our opinions, but that's all we're doing. Like, there is no specific rules around, like, what is good and what is bad.
Yeah.
So obviously listen to what we have to say. You're here, you've tuned in already.
Yeah.
Why leave now? That'd be weird. Don't do that. But just don't get angry with us. Don't get upset if your favourite is not on the good list but does feature on the bad list. Ooh.
Not bad list, just things we think are overrated.
Yeah.
I mean, take anything I say with a grain of salt.
Tash doesn't know shit.
I don't know shit. Yeah, Emma's the sex nerd. I'm just
But you're a toy nerd. You use toys as much, if not more than me.
Yeah,
so.
I just like the nerd part. I don't think I'm actually that smart when it comes to this sort of thing. I just like the information, but I don't retain any of the information.
Like me with the old astrology.
Yeah. We balance each other out.
We're little goldfish. We just have no memory of what goes on in this room. And before I forget, because I forget every time apparently, according to Taj, don't forget that we do have a code, Rodeo10, for 10% off your order at Adult Toy Megastore, because I'm telling you, some of these toys, if you haven't heard of them already, you're going to be wanting to get your little mitts on them for real.
Yeah, today's the day to write that code down because we're going to chat about some very fun stuff.
And we'll probably forget to mention it in every other episode, so do write it down. Because we haven't. Okay, let's start on a positive note. Let's talk about the toys that we think are the most underrated. So these are the ones that we think y'all are sleeping on.
Yeah.
So first up, glass toys.
Glass toys. Ring-a-ling-a-ling.
Ding-a-ding-ding.
That's me touching a glass toy.
Yeah. Yeah, love it. Sound effects.
What do you think of glass toys, Emma? Obviously, you think they're underrated.
I think they're underrated. I think they're starting to get the attention that they deserve recently, though.
Mm-hmm. Recently?
Yeah, I think that there's like more conversations about it. I think that more people that I talk to about them or like have an inkling of what they are. I think for a long time it was just like glass. You don't put glass in your vagina, doll. Like that's not what you do.
Or your butt.
Yeah, don't put it in your butthole. You know?
Do put it in your butthole.
But now we know. Both. Put it in both.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of glass. I definitely think I haven't done enough temperature play to really have a full-on idea. But what I do know about glass toys is for G-spot stimulation.
Yeah.
Very, very powerful.
Yeah.
Very good. Like they come with lots of little nubs and curves. You know, if you're someone that likes that like G-spot quote
The
unquote.
come hither.
Yeah, the come hither motion. They're really good for that. They got nice curves. I
Yeah.
like the little nubs and things. I like that sensation.
They're fun, eh?
And I like, again, I haven't tried like that much temperature play with glass, but I feel like it reminds me of this sensation if you try like the High on Love like clit stim gel.
Yeah,
like that same cool, intense effect.
Yeah.
It replicates that for me, which I think is cool.
Yeah, I think it's super nice as well. Like, I, again, haven't really delved into temperature play deliberately, only because glass toys are just cold.
Yeah,
unless, unless you heat them up, they do tend to be quite cool. But I love that. But yeah, it's the firmness of them, eh? It just feels so good. Because I've got a really thin glass toy that I quite often use during oral sex. So when Jay's going down on me, so having that inside while he's doing that, and that's a real time. Highly recommend that.
Okay.
Highly recommend it.
I'm writing it down.
Yeah, good. But also for the people that don't know, like, I think we should be clear that these aren't normal glass. Like, the sex toys made of glass are not just like your everyday glass, like you're going to buy a glass bottle of Coca-Cola.
You can't put them in your glass
something.
recycling.
Yes, no. So this is made of borosilicate glass, so it's a really strengthened glass. It's designed not to shatter, it's designed not to break. Of course, if you're going to like throw it onto like a concrete floor or something, it's still going to break.
Yeah, your warranty claim will be rejected by my team.
But, if you're just using it inside your body, it's not going to snap or anything like that. So it's super safe to use. It's non-porous, so it's completely body safe. It can't harbour bacteria. You can share it with a friend. You can have it for a lifetime, basically, as long as you look after it. And it can be used with any type of lubricant.
Yeah, that's a good selling point.
Yeah, which is really great because, like one of the cool things about glass is how like smooth and like slinky it is, So if you add that with like some Uber lube or like some oil-based lube even, feels so good.
Oh, absolutely.
Just quickly as well, for me, stainless steel toys are on the same level.
Yes, they're slightly more weighted, I suppose.
Yeah.
Like the thing with glass is that they don't want to make them too weighty, whereas metal, I feel like they're typically got a bit more heft to them, which can be really good if you obviously like that added pressure.
Yeah, totally. I love the heaviness of them. Yeah. I think it's so fun. It makes it so like satisfying because any movement is just like it just feels, someone's given me shit for using the term grunty when I talk about sex toys before. I can't remember who it was, but I do.
If you're listening, screw you.
Yeah. I like the term grunty. Like, it just feels like, I don't know, like good, like a solid, good, middle,
You've
toy.
gone through your Rolodex of adjectives for the episode already.
Good. Good is the only one I can think of.
I actually have a question about temperature play.
Yeah.
I'm going to sound so stupid. If you were to want to do temperature play with a butt plug, so a metal or a glass butt plug, if you were to make it warm, do you think that would make it an easier journey because it would warm up the sphincter muscles?
What a great question.
Thank you.
I mean, I don't know if the actual warmth of them helps enough in terms of the sphincter muscles because they are so strong. But
true.
I mean, I know that it works for other muscles like a heat pack.
A heat pack. Yeah, exactly. That's why I thought, I don't know, it was just a random thought that I had, just in case other curious minds wanted to try temperature play.
Yeah, I mean, give it a whirl.
Yeah, I'll try a cold one and a hot one and we'll see.
Yeah.
But, you've got to be careful. You don't want it to be too warm for obvious reasons.
Always check it out on your skin beforehand. So like the inside of your wrist is a really good spot because your skin there is highly sensitive as well. So it's going to give you a better indication than using it on like a thicker piece of skin that has less sensitivity. So stick to like the inside of your wrist or even the inside of your elbow as well. Yeah. Because obviously your genitalia has super sensitive skin.
Yes.
So please be careful. Do not burn or freeze yourself.
This is what's really great about our dynamic is you've got the great tips, the information, the knowledge, the expertise, and I've got the really stupid questions that random people might be asking themselves but are too afraid to ask.
But it's not even a stupid question because you've stumped me and now I'm embarrassed.
Oh my God, don't be. That whole spiel about testing it on your arm was so smart. Okay, and next up on the list we have masturbation eggs, or as Emma has so kindly put on the episode brief, wanky eggs.
Wanky eggs is more fun to say.
Wanky eggs.
Wanky eggs. But yeah, masturbation eggs, if you don't know them, they are literally like a very soft, very stretchy, very flexible little egg-shaped thing.
It's a little dome sleeve
and
that you put over the head of your penis and you jerk it up and down.
Roll it down.
Yeah.
And go to town.
Lots of brands do them. Tenga, I think, is like the main one, but Satisfy's got them. Sheer Satisfaction's got them. Anyone else?
I don't know. I mean, that's enough.
Yeah. They all do the same thing.
Yeah.
They've got different little patterns. They come in a colourful little Kinder Egg type thing with some lube. And you just have a wanky good time.
Yeah, we call them like a gourmet hand job.
Yeah.
Because rather than just like your hand, which is fine, like do what you want, but if you add a little sleeve over the top, it adds texture, but it adds like squishiness and softness. I am struggling with the adjectives today.
That's okay.
But squishiness and softness is really nice. So they're made of TPE in most cases, and TPE is like particularly soft, and like it's kind of like called a lifelike material, but I mean,
I don't think so. I think what makes them great is that they're just more budget friendly and easier to clean than a masturbator sleeve.
Yes.
And you can change up your grip. So, you know, there's a bit more control in it. And I mean, what I like about them as someone with a partner is if I'm not really interested in giving head, or, you know, like sometimes I get tongue ulcers and I, you know, like there's other reasons, but I still want to have a good time. Whipping out one of those is awesome because it, for me, at least with George, it elicits a very similar reaction, which is a very positive one.
That's true.
So, you know, slightly less effort for a pretty decent payoff is quite great. And he can use it solo as well.
Yeah, I think they're great. Add heaps of lube.
Heaps of lube. And
just slidey.
Yeah.
Like, no cons.
I mean, they don't last forever.
Yeah, buy the six-pack. No cons.
All right, moving swiftly onward. Actually, no, I, because these are such a popular toy with us, I actually have quite an iconic review that you can find on the Adult Toy Megastore website that I wanted to share with the podcast listeners.
Great.
Let me skip to the good part. So this is someone with an alias on our website in 2021. And basically, this was a less positive review. It was only 3.5 stars. And so she said, wasn't sure what to expect from this, but was hoping for a new sensation for my man to bring him a mind-shattering orgasm, but no joy. He said it felt like a hand job with a condom on. Was fun for me to play with, though. I liked that it came with lube, the fact that it was so stretchy and in discreet packaging, but it just didn't do it for him. So he flipped me on my back and fucked me with it stuck on his tip. Overall, I wouldn't buy again.
Oh my God.
So I'd just like to take this as an opportunity to say, you're not meant to wear it during sex.
No, that's not what it's for.
No, and it's funny that she seemed to enjoy that because I would find that so bizarre. But I love that review so much. I love that they just still, you know, powered on through with the situation. It sucks that they didn't enjoy it. To counteract that, I've got a positive review.
Nice.
The title is Good Christ. And they said, I felt like I was floating after using this. I have death grip and it has been so long since I came without my hand alone. 11 out of 10 would recommend.
There we go.
So that's great.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
No cons.
Yeah. Well.
One singular con.
Edit out the other review. No cons.
I love that, though. I love that they talk about like death grip and how it actually does add sensation. Because that's what we always talk about, right? That it's like a sensation, like addition to your play. And then someone is like, yes, that's exactly what I think. So it's not just us.
My understanding of death grip is essentially if you've masturbated so much that anything other than like your hand, because you do it like with such a death grip, doesn't really make you orgasm. Is that the idea?
Yeah. Overstimulation, basically.
Well, good on you, anonymous person. We're glad that helped. And I hope you're still having lots of fun with your eggs.
I bet they are.
Changing lives.
Wanky eggs to the rescue. Yay! Okay, we have another one.
And this is a bucket list one.
It is a bucket list one for Tash and just for me in solidarity, as discussed.
So kind of you to get a free butt plug.
I know. I'm a great gal. So this is rimming butt plugs, which we've talked about a few times. But we haven't actually come back around since I believe you have since tried it again.
I have. Yeah, I can't remember what detail I got into. I think I only touched on it.
Yeah.
But when I first tried it, it was weird. The rimming sensation was weird. So, I mean, people know what it is already. Basically, I'm used to a vibrating butt plug. The rimming feature, which is just the rotating beads within the sphincter, is that what I would say?
Yeah, the neck of the toy.
At the neck of the toy, thank you.
They are within the sphincter.
Yeah, the first time I found it a bit weird. I think the fact that it's the biggest butt toy I've tried definitely was a factor. So kind of coming back to that and trying it again, I just felt a bit more comfortable. And yeah, I definitely enjoyed it more the second time.
Okay.
Once I got used to it. It obviously, in my opinion, it's not the same. Like, I understand why it's called the rimming plug, but it just, the things that I enjoy about rim jobs, it doesn't replicate that for me.
Right.
But the rotating beads is actually like a very interesting sensation, especially if you use the remote for the B-Vibe rimming plug and you cycle through the different things, because you can get the beads going one way, you can get them going back
they
and
go
forth.
whip, whip,
I liked
whip,
the wishy-washy washing machine.
One way and then the other way. One way and then the
I
other way.
liked that better than the consistent round.
Right.
For some reason.
That makes sense, though.
I don't really know why. But yeah, overall, I think it's cool. I think it's a cool thing for people to try. Have you tried yours? You haven't.
Okay. I have. I tried to try it.
Oh, yes.
So I have a real thing about like really telling everyone before you do any kind of anal play to really like prep in advance, make sure you're ready, make sure your body is warmed up. Now the problem with me is that I don't take my own advice and I don't follow the rules. So I know the bad girl.
She's a bad girl. I don't follow the rules. I don't prep before anal. You can't take me.
And I regret all of that because when there was just of a day, I was just like, I'm going to use this. I'm going to use it right now. And like no prep, not doing anything else, like didn't even warm up my body. And it's a big old plug. And I was just like trying to get it in my butt. Like obviously I was using heaps of lube because I'm not an idiot. And I was just like, just like, trying to get it in.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Had you been drinking wine?
No.
Why were you doing that?
I just wanted to use it.
I mean, it's one thing to like not follow your own advice. Like I'm terrible with the toy storage, but like shoving a butt plug in with no lube.
I had lube. I had
with
lube.
no
I just
prep.
hadn't done anything else. So normally it's a big toy.
Yeah.
I think it's
bulbous.
It's the same length as another plug that I own, but it's way more bulbous.
And which toy is this? The Satisfyer? Is it just Satisfyer rimming
This
plug?
is the Satisfyer rimming plug 2+ it's called because they always add like numbers and fucking
pluses
shit to the end of all of their names. But yeah, it's significantly thicker, even at the very tip of it, than anything that I've put in my butt before. And it was like not going anywhere. And I was just like, I was just laughing. Like I knew I wasn't going to do it. I think I tried for like a couple of minutes and I was like, fuck it. And then recently what I've realized is because we've just not been in a like anal play phase.
Yeah.
I'm back to square one. I got out this tiny little butt plug the other day. And even that, I was like, with prep, like I followed the rules. I did everything that I tell everyone else to do. Warming up with the finger first, stimulate other parts of your body, like rah, rah, rah. All the boring stuff.
All the things I preach every single day in my job as a sex educator. Who cares? Blah, blah, blah.
I stand by it. But yeah, even this little plug, I was like, fuck, I can barely get this one in. But I did. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to go back to like square one and start like building up my butthole stretch again.
My way.
I know. So sorry to disappoint everyone. Not that it's on my bucket list anyway. I'm just doing that one for funsies.
Thank you for sharing your experience with us.
But I want to know what other people think. I want to hear from other people that have used them as well. But if you've used it, let me know.
Yeah.
We'll put a poll up on our Instagram because I really want to know what other people think because I'm saying they're underrated, having never used one.
Yeah. Well, you've been obsessed with the idea of them for a while.
Yeah, I love the idea of them. And I think that's probably still stuck in my head. So when I can get mine in my butthole, we'll talk.
We'll talk. If I had $1 for every time I've said that to someone.
All right. The next one is another one that's on your list.
Yes. This is one that a lot of people were really intrigued to hear about, which is the pussy pump.
Pussy pump.
Vulva pump.
Wait, does this mean tick?
Yes. Oh my God,
yes. Look at you go.
We need like a special noise.
I know.
For when I tick something off. Ba, ba, ba.
Ba, ba, ba.
Yeah. No, that's my idea. What's your pitch for what the noise should be?
Oh, I'm thinking like Disney when they do the heart and there's the little like sparkle
Hold
sound.
on. Sorry. The heart?
Oh, not the heart. The fucking Disney.
Man,
thing.
I was about to be like, I'm about to change your whole life.
Not that.
Right,
not
when they
that.
do the one for the Mickey ears.
Yeah, the Mickey ears. Thank you. That's what I'm talking about. It's close to a heart. There's the little sparkle sound. I think each time we do one, we get a little sparkle sound.
Can we hear it? All I can think of is da-na-na-na, which is not this one.
Nah, I want the
Okay. Yes, so I have ticked off pussy pump. So that's
I think 4.
4. Yeah, spreader bar, threesome, rimming plug.
Pussy pump.
That's 4.
Yay.
I'm almost halfway.
Good job.
Yes, I have had a little play over the long weekend, last weekend. And boy, was it interesting.
Oh.
So, a couple things about pussy pumps, I guess, or just like pumps in general, penis pumps. The first time I tried it, I hadn't shaved properly. So getting a consistent seal was not easy. I couldn't really do it. So I was having to like consistently pump, whereas you're actually supposed to just kind of place it on, pump it a few times, and then have a consistent seal. I think it was just because of my
situation.
My coarse pubic hair. Sorry, I paused because I was like, I'm not saying it. Yes, I'm saying it.
Yeah, you're saying it. You've said it.
Yeah, so super interesting. When I first used it, I propped up like a little mirror on the couch facing me just so I could see what I was doing.
Good move.
Yeah, I can't see over my stomach.
Yeah.
I was a little thrown at first because the chamber or the
Cup.
the suction cup, it looks very similar to the mouthpiece on my CPAP. And for those who don't know what a CPAP is, it's the machine that I wear to bed, so to breathe in my sleep, basically. So it's a big breathing mask over my face. And
So you don't want to get those around the wrong
it's
way.
uncanny. They're very similar. And I was just like, no, anyway. So yeah, got a little bit of a lube on it to get a nice seal.
Yeah.
Was in front of the mirror, just trying to find, I think because I am a bigger person, I've got, a nice little pooch. I had to try and find the right spot for it. I think it would probably be easier for someone who's probably more of an average size. But yeah, just like popped it on, messed around with the squeezy bit, tried to get a proper seal. And very interesting.
Yeah.
Number one is that for me, I think I've said like I want to achieve like a very just like a nice plump look.
Yes.
It's not the experience that I had. The first thing is that I couldn't see, because the cup is clear, I couldn't see through it because almost as soon as I put it on, it like fogged up. So I was like, this pussy's packing heat, bro.
Oh my God, it fills with condensation, eh?
Yeah, it filled with condensation very quickly. And by the way, the pump that I was using was the Fetish Fantasy Extreme Vibrating Pussy Pump.
Extreme. Did we know it was the extreme one? Is that deliberate?
It was for me.
Oh, okay, cool. Sorry.
I chose it deliberately. Just a pretty normal, with like a pussy pump, you just expect like the squeezy bulb with the quick release, the hose, and then like an actual suction cup. This one comes with a remote controlled bullet that kind of sits in the cup so you can get a bit of vibrating action once obviously you've been pumping and it draws all the blood through, and then you're nice and sensitive and then you vibrate and have a great time. So I just tried, my tip for other beginners would be just try the suction first if you've got one that vibrates too, just so you can get an idea of what you're doing, and just do it for a couple minutes because I don't often look at my vulva.
Oh.
No, I did. I actually looked up a couple articles before I did it. So I was like, I want to like be all proper about this.
Yeah.
No, I don't normally look at my vulva, but like I know it's pink, and so I didn't look at it beforehand because I was more just using the mirror to like put the cup on, and so I pumped for like maybe 3 minutes, and then like I took it off to see my lovely plump vulva, and unfortunately, what I found was very purple labia minora.
Really?
And because I hadn't looked, my first thought was...
Oh, you don't know what the contrast was.
My first
what
thought
was it before?
Is my pussy always purple?
And that's a fair question.
No, seriously. And so I went to George and I was just like, my labia always purple? And he was like, no. And I was like, okay, noted. Okay. I think because I struggled to get a good seal, I don't know if that affected it. The second time I used it, it did go purple as well, but I actually was able to achieve more of like a plump look. And the other interesting thing about it was the first time I used it, I randomly squirted twice. And I didn't even orgasm. I didn't orgasm at all from it, and that wasn't the goal. So I'm cool with that. But yeah, even just like having it on for like 5 minutes, because you don't really want to have it on for more than like 5 to 10 minutes. I would just be like, pumping my puss. And then I just...
Doing anything else?
No. Like, I had the vibrating function on one of the times, and one of the times I didn't. And it's interesting because obviously it's increasing sensitivity, and the pump is around like my entire vulva. So my clitoris is in there and all of the bits that have all the sensations, but there's no direct stimulation. So it's really interesting because it's a nice, consistent, pleasurable sensation.
Yeah.
But just randomly at 2 points, I just all of a sudden felt myself squirt, and I could see it in the cup.
No way.
And then I was just like, what the fuck? Like, it was so random. And I'm not someone who normally squirts. I've squirted maybe 3 times in my life very randomly. And it would have been while I was orgasming as well. So that was really interesting.
Fuck, I wonder what it was. I'm so interested now. Like, I need to read up more about this.
I know.
Because I know that cups like obviously increase blood flow and shit. But how the fuck does it make you squirt?
I have no idea. It was very weird. But I would, overall, my advice is try it. If you're someone who likes toys, give it a go. It's definitely a different kind of sensation. The sex afterwards is great.
I was going to ask about this.
Yes.
So in terms of it increasing sensitivity, do you think it made a big difference?
Definitely, especially like clitoral sensitivity. What I really liked was back in the day when George and I didn't use condoms, one thing that we would do a lot during sex is like he would go down on me and then I would climax and then he would come straight up and we'd have sex and it would feel amazing, like straight afterwards. Now we use condoms, so we don't really do that just because there's extra fuck around time in between. But it had a similar sensitivity, except the other one was kind of more internal. This was more external.
Yeah.
But yeah, it definitely increased sensitivity in a really cool way. And, you know, like, I like to experiment. So just anything new in sex is great and fun to me.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, there's lots of possibilities for what you can do with it. If you're into kink, like you can use pussy pumps as like a kink thing.
Yeah.
BDSM, give someone else the control for it. So I personally think it's a cool thing that more people should try.
That's cool. Yeah. I actually also, it was a long weekend, as Stash mentioned before, so things were going on. But I also remembered that I had a pussy pump that I hadn't tried.
Oh.
And so again...
Wait, you stop stealing.
I know. I'm ticking off your bucket list faster than my
own. Okay, what did you think?
Well,
were we doing it at the same time?
Oh my God, maybe.
Maybe we were just having like this
What if like our brains were connected?
Yeah.
We were both
maybe
pumping.
Did you finish? Maybe that's why I squirted.
No. Not till after.
We'll circle back on that.
We'll figure out what the connection was. But the one that I have is quite different to the one that Tash has. So I've got one that was like super popular a few years ago. It's part of the range called Fantasy for Her Ultimate Pleasure or something. It's got a lot of fucking...
It's a very long name.
Yeah, a lot of pronouns and things that don't need to be in there. So this is it's like a little cup. It's an electric cup. So rather than you like manually pumping it with your hand, you just turn the button on, it does all the work for you. Hey, nice. But then there's also this tongue in it. This tongue, dude. This tongue is so loud. Yeah. So it's this tongue that moves up and down. And it literally, it does like it's
That's
crazy.
Not an exaggeration.
No, it's not. That's probably quieter than the actual toy itself. So I was using it and the pump bit's very fun though.
Oh.
I was quite enjoying it. So I do need to try it. It comes with 2 different like cup sizes. One is more oval and the other one's super circular. And I think I was using the more circular one and I do want to try it again with the oval one.
Is that one meant to be more of like a clit pump, right?
Yeah,
just because the one I had covers quite a lot, whereas those are quite small.
But it's not that small. Like it gets some vulva in there. Like,
okay, well mine is bigger than that.
Oh yeah. I know. But it gets, it's not just...
How would you know?
I've seen. I know what you did last night.
True. I know what you did last night because we were there together. That's
why she squirted.
Moving on.
But yes, very much enjoyed the sensation. So the thing with this one is that the tongue is actually quite far away. So you do need to turn on the pump to like draw your flesh in so that the can actually lick your clitoris. I didn't really like the tongue. I liked the pumping. The tongue was kind of annoying me and just not that movement just doesn't really do it for me anyway. So very fun with just the pump,
Oh.
but you can't get the tongue off. So I was just like, this is not right. But it is a fun toy for people that want to try a little bit of pumping and that like an up and down, like flicky tongue action.
The other end is a G-spot vibrator.
Yeah, true.
So,
I didn't even try that one.
Yeah, I've used that because I had the same toy. I don't know. It was a couple of years ago I got given it. I don't think I bothered to try the suction or it didn't work for me.
Yeah.
And then the tongue, because I wasn't using the suction, the tongue with the cup on didn't reach my clit, and I was like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
Obviously, I didn't know what you said, which is that it draws it in.
Yeah, it does.
But yeah, the vibrator itself is good and not super loud.
Good to know.
Yeah,
Okay.
so...
I was using the loud, not that good end. Great. Love that for me. All right, let's move on to the next one.
I'm excited to talk about this one because I feel like we're both very passionate about this.
Yeah, we are.
And this one is ball stretchers.
Hell
so this one's for the people with the peens and the balls.
Yes.
Throwing it back to you guys.
Time to stretch them. Let's do it.
So tell us about ball stretchers, Em.
Well, they're so fun, aren't they?
Yeah.
So a ball stretcher is basically just however thick you want it. It goes around your scrotum, your balls go down beneath it, and it just basically stretches the skin a little bit.
Yeah.
So if you're someone that likes your balls tugged during sex, this is for you.
Get into it.
Now, unfortunately, they do tend to live under kind of like cock and ball torture, which is fun, but I think it puts people off.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why it ends up in the underrated sex toy list, because it's not torture.
It's not.
Anyway,
No.
if you like your balls tugged,
You'll love it.
You'll love it. And they can be super thin. Like there are obviously some that are really have a lot of width to them. So there'll be a lot of height between like your balls sticking out the bottom and the base of your penis.
Yeah.
But some of them are just like nice, thin, almost like a bracelet size.
Some we talked about back in episode 4 about male sex toys. There are ones that are shaped like nuts.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're quite thin.
A nut for your nut,
Yeah,
babes.
or you can get like middle ones and they're also just like a little bangle.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah. Jay's got one that's like a leather one with domes at the back.
The one that you now use on your plant?
A different one. That's a cock ring.
Okay.
This one we did once leave under the bed at his parents' house, and his dad came out carrying it. Like, did someone leave their bracelet behind? And I was like, yeah. I was like, how thin do you think my wrist is?
As thin as your son's balls.
Yay! So huge.
So does Jay have, because the one that we've used is Oxball Squeeze.
Oh,
I think you recommended that to me.
yeah, and only because I like the feel of the material. We've not used that one.
I did a bit of research and a lot of people saying that's like a really good beginner's one.
Because it's
I do think
stretchy.
it is stretchy, but I do think it's on the tighter side for a beginner.
Oh,
But
okay.
we love it. George loves.
Yeah,
he loves
yeah,
the squeeze.
yeah. Jay does too. Very, very into the ball stretcher.
For the people wearing it,
Yeah.
feels great. However, there is also, in my opinion, a benefit for those of us having sex with them. Do you have that experience?
Because they get really firm. Is that what you were
All right,
going to
I'm
say?
about to use the phrase ball slapping. So anyone who
yes,
knows me and doesn't want to hear me talk about ball
Yeah,
slapping sex, skip
yeah.
forward about a minute. When you're having sex doggy style, I don't know if you've done this, and he's got it on, and obviously there's the ball stretcher, and then the balls are very tight,
Yeah.
and they slap against your vulva. It feels incredible.
Because they get like, because of the tightness of the skin,
Yeah.
they turn really like hard.
Yeah.
And so it's a whole new thing. Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Like, it's just so funny because I feel like the idea of like jackhammering in sex is like, you know, if someone jackhammers, they're like not good at sex. And
Yeah.
like in a lot of ways that is very terrible. But I think like a good
Consensual jackhammering.
No, but if you're into it and someone's got a ball stretcher
Yeah.
on, it feels unreal.
Yeah, trust us.
Like, I just remember, because when we bought it, I just was like, cool, this is something nice for him. He'll wear it during sex and feel fantastic.
Yeah.
But when we did it with it on for the first time,
Yeah.
I was like, wait a damn
It changes.
minute.
It completely changes how
Changes
it
the
feels,
game,
for
man.
sure. And because Jay's favourite thing as well is that it makes him feel really, really sensitive.
Everywhere.
Yes. And because ours is thick, because it's leather, it boosts his dick quite
I
higher.
can't imagine a leather one. I'm struggling to like imagine what that would be like.
it's like got some width to it.
Sure.
But it just because of that as well, and because it's firm, it kind of lifts his dick quite high, which is very fun. So sometimes even though it's not around his cock as well, it kind of feels like he's wearing a cock ring sometimes as well. It's really, you got to explore. I want to get some different material ones.
Yes, and I was just thinking when you're talking, because I know Oxballs is a great brand.
Love
but they have some ball stretchers that also have a bit that where the shaft goes through. So it's like a cock ring ball sling combo.
Yes.
And I know that G-Man would be into that, so I want to get one of those. I will say the one downside to ball stretchers, in my opinion, as a partner who likes to assist, trying to help George put on a ball stretcher one time, most terrifying thing I've witnessed in my life. I was so scared.
I've never tried. I'm not getting into that.
Terrifying stuff. You know, lube everywhere. But like, I just felt like I was gonna split his sack. I was terrified.
See, I don't like that, because like, even when Jay wears his, I'm always like very careful because it does feel tight. You know?
Oh, so tight.
And it's like, it doesn't normally feel like this. Every now and then he'll go like completely purple. And I'm like, babe, just quickly take that off. Yeah, no probs. Just take it off.
Speaking of purple, I reckon on the topic of the ball slapping as well, pussy pump sesh plus ball stretcher, that'd be a thing.
That's Bangtown.
And last one on our underrated list, another bucket list item, not for me though, for Emma, is
E-stimulation. Ding, 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 ding.
Why did I say stim in full but not
electro?
Electrostimulation. Yes, tell us.
Oh, great news.
There's been some developments.
Because if any of you have listened to episode 4, so hopefully all of you, oh my God, thanks guys.
If you're here and you haven't, thank you so much for listening, but go back.
Yeah, go back. But yeah, we talked to my boyfriend Jay, and that was the one thing that he was not into.
Yeah.
And honestly, I've barely even like brought it up with him at all. And then suddenly he was just like, do you know what? I've been like thinking about what you said, and I think I want to try it. I know. And I was so excited.
Good for you, Jay.
Yeah, good for Jay. And then what?
Well, so someone actually mentioned, who was I talking to after the podcast episode? They were like, it's interesting that because of a traumatic childhood experience, he's not interested in exploring something sexually, because a lot of kinks are bred from childhood experiences. So I feel like maybe we're learning that.
I know, but it was an electric fence. Brutal.
Still. Anyways, tell us about it.
Yeah, so I mean, it was also good because the first time that we used it, we're in our 30s. Jay's a gardener. I know how you would never believe it looking at us. But Jay's a gardener. Sometimes he'll just message me and be like, I've just purchased like 500 bricks off Trade Me. I'm going to go and get them for the garden. Okay? So that's the sort of thing that Jay does. And then he needs to move all of those from the car down to the garden. And so he had a real bad back in the weekend from it. Right. And so he had already like been thinking about like trying it, and I was like, well, let's put it on your back first, because it's basically a TENS unit. It's a muscle relaxer. It's a muscle stimulator. So I've got the Electrostim Flip stimulator set, and it comes with 4 electrodes. And so we just literally, the first thing that either of us did with this kit is just put them onto his back and just, you create the circuit. And we just started real low, and it made him like tingle and stuff. And he was really liking that. He was real into it.
Okay.
Yeah. I went into the bathroom. What was I doing? I think this might have been the day I was trying to get the butt plug in. I don't know. Anyway, I disappeared for a couple of minutes, came back, and he was on like level 5 or something. Like he was like halfway through. And that's what he'd been so scared about. And I was like, why are you like, look at you. You were the one that didn't want to do this. Yeah. And now you're already gone to level 5. Like you're halfway up as high as you can go. And he was just like lying there like, it feels so good.
Oh my God.
And so then we moved the electrodes which are just these little pads. So it's these electro pads. And so we moved those from his back to his butt cheeks. And then I was like spanking him and stuff. And he was enjoying that.
Spanking him just with your hand?
Yeah, just with my hand. And then it just like, because his butt has electrodes on it, he's just getting like little tingles going, which is really cool, right?
Yeah.
But we didn't have penetrative sex with it, which I do want to do still. It's just because it's like, there's a big learning curve because there are some rules around what you're allowed to do. So with electrostim, you never want to do anything above the waist because you can fuck with your heart. And so if you're doing it and one of you is wearing one of the electro pads and one of you is wearing the other electro pads, anywhere that you touch together is going to complete the circuit. And so you're going to feel the stimulation through that area. So if you're having penetrative sex, you want to be touching penis to vagina. And I was like, but I touch you all the time when we're fucking. Like, even just to get into position, like, depending on what we're doing, hands on chest, like hands in here, hands on face, hands on, like my hands are, I need those.
Involved.
Yeah. And so
when you talk, we see it.
I know. Look, I'm a jazz hand scale, okay?
She likes the gesture.
Very bring it on. And, sorry, another early reference, early 2000s.
They dance.
Yeah, it's fucking great, man. And so, we were like, there's probably a little bit more to learn just before we dive into doing that together. But I did use it myself. So I put one of the electrodes on my, mons pubis. And then the other one on my thigh, like real close to my vulva.
And for those who don't know, is mons pubis me?
It's like the fleshy bit on the top.
Pubic area.
Yeah.
Just above your, where the lips.
Yes, separate.
Well, I mean, everyone's got one, right? Mons pubis.
Yeah.
It's before the capital G genitals.
Yeah. It's the fleshy bit. I'm touching mine. I'm just banging on it.
I'm not going to touch mine.
Okay, that's your choice. That's your prerogative.
Not right now.
But so I had it there. And the idea was that the circuit would kind of go like right across my clitoris. It felt real good.
Yeah.
And
not painful?
I started low. I think I only got up to probably level 4. And man, because it makes your muscles clench, the orgasm was insane. Like I just had it on like there and then was just masturbating with my finger on my clit.
Sorry.
Hey, someone's excited.
I like the sound of that.
She likes the sound of this. She liked me tapping on my mom's pubis. But damn, the orgasm was fucking insane.
Yeah?
Yeah. So I'm like...
Clitoral?
Yeah.
Internal?
Clitoral. But just so much like...
Did it go for ages?
Yes. I was actually really nervous because you know how I've got an overactive pelvic floor?
Yeah.
And so I've had issues with the muscles being too tight.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, I'm literally making my muscles like really contract right now. And so I was a little bit nervous and I was like, okay, I probably need to do like a little bit more research into this to find out if this is actually a good thing for me to be doing right now.
Yeah.
But it felt amazing. I had no issues afterwards.
Great.
Like it felt fucking good. I highly, highly recommend it. And Jay... So into it that when I was putting the electrodes on his back for like his sore back, he was like, we were just pretending that I was like his little nurse. We were kind of joking about it. And then the other day he messaged me and he was like, I want you to get a nurse's outfit for the next time. And I was like, yeah.
What a development.
I know, actually. And after that session, because that session was just so much fun, he even messaged me saying that it was so good that he bought me a leather corset because his love language is gift giving and I am a little lucky princess.
The lovin' was that good.
The lovin' was that good.
He was showering her with gifts.
I got gifts.
Oh my God.
I know.
That sounds incredible.
I know.
I mean,
see what I mean?
snaps.
Underrated.
That's very exciting.
Yeah.
I'm very, very happy for you. I do
know.
have a question. Obviously, this is the eStim you've tried is with the kind of like electrodes, the little square patches. You can get eStim toys, so like vibrators that have that function. Are you interested in that?
I already have one.
Oh, okay. Where are we at with that?
So I have had it for ages, but I hadn't really used it very much because it's huge. So I've got an internal vibrator, just clitoral, but it's fucking enormous and it's like highly ridged. And I find that because I get sometimes pain with penetration, it's just a bit much for me.
Sure.
But I actually used it that same day. I was just on a real electro day. I was just having a
girl.
Shock me like an electric eel. I was just, having an electro time. And so I used that afterwards as well, just to see like what the difference was. And fuck, it feels good, man. Again, it's just so good. This one has vibration as well. So I did find that if it wasn't so big, it would be insanely good for beginners because you're using vibration, it does almost like lessen, I guess, some of the feeling of the electrostim if you're a bit nervous about
Sure,
that tingling and
that
that
makes
feeling. So the two go together really, really nicely. And I would actually recommend those first because they're so much easier to use. So with that, you've got everything in the one toy. You just control it like you normally would. Yes, there's a few more buttons than normal.
Sure.
But like with the set that we've got, it's got the power box, it's got the connecting cords,
Yeah.
it's got the little electrodes. You have to complete the circuit
Yes.
yourself, whereas that has everything in the one unit. So
Yes.
it's way easier.
Yeah. Okay, wow. So a massive tick for Emma, who tried multiple forms of eStim, partnered and solo, in one weekend.
Yay for me.
One might say she was in a pretty zappy-go-lucky mood.
Oy! Don't know that we would, but no, I loved it. I'm joking. I didn't mean to bring you down. I do really love it. I'm a zappy-go-lucky kind of gal.
Yeah.
Yay!
All right. Are we going to zap me?
Oh my God, yeah, I totally forgot.
just for your listening pleasure, I've never tried eStim, and we have a kink by Doc Johnson. We've got a wand, and Emma's going to zap me with it, and you can all hear me yell.
Yeah, and I just want to just because I've said multiple times that it's not like a zap. This is a zap,
Yes.
and this is a deliberate zap. So this is very much for the kink realm where you want to actually zap the person.
Yeah,
this is not the tingly, muscle contracty good times that I've been talking about, okay?
Yeah. I'm into the tingly, zappy, go lucky good times. I'm quite scared of getting like shocked. I'm on the electric fence shock team, so I just thought I'm never going to do it unless Emma just zaps me in the studio. So that's what we're doing.
I've been shocked by it once before and it is scary, so good luck to you all. Okay.
Get that thing away from me.
It's louder than it is pain.
Where do you want to, where should we zap me? Just in my hand?
Arm.
Are you going to come over here?
Yeah.
It's got reach. Oh, okay. Well, you're not looking at it. Try it again.
See what I mean?
Oh. The second one hurt. Did you press
sorry.
it against
I think slightly. I think I've got bad depth perception and I thought that you were further
It
away.
burning here.
I may have burnt her hair.
Oh my God. She pressed it into me. And
Hang on, I didn't know
Can you smell that?
No,
it doesn't look or feel like anything. I can just smell here.
I can't smell it. Oh my God. See, this is the kind of thing that makes people nervous about electrostim.
Sorry.
It's okay. I'm just saying.
Are you gonna zap yourself now?
Nah, fuck no.
Oh, can I get you?
Oh yeah, go on.
Yeah, go on.
I'm scared.
It's
now.
okay. Just hold your arm out and don't look.
I'm scared.
Just hold it up.
I really don't even feel anything, but it makes such a loud zap.
The like look of it is like really what adds to it.
Yeah.
Oh,
But that's what we mean. Like, it's for kink.
yeah, definitely. No, that was fun. Thank you.
You're welcome. There we go.
Nice trusting partner.
Tick off your list.
Yeah.
Electrosex.
Yeah, since Emma's doing my list, I just kind of wanted to jump in on the action. So I felt
know.
cool. So I hope everyone enjoyed that. Don't listen to my shrieks. It actually felt pretty cool.
Okay, now that we're all zapped and ready to party,
Zapped and bapped.
let's quickly talk about the overrated sex toys.
Yes, and again, take it with a grain of salt. This is just our opinion, especially
Please.
as people who are in the industry and hear a lot about, like these types of toys a lot. We're just, we did underrated, so we're speaking our piece on overrated.
Mm-hmm.
Emma?
I knew you were going to make me do it. It's
if
okay.
anyone's upset about this one,
Emma's to blame. I am sorry about this, but
I'm not.
it's the SP2.
SP2 is a little bit overrated.
The Satisfyer Pro 2. Like, I get it. It was the first cheaper toy on the market to do what it did, and that's great, but it's just a bit shit. Like,
Yeah.
I just think there are way better toys. I think that there are suction toys nowadays that are about the same price and that feel better
Yeah,
and
I agree.
prettier.
Yeah.
I don't like the look of it.
I think, for the time that it came up, it made sense and it brought a lot of people into the world of toys, which is fantastic. But it is on the lower end of the kind of quality luxury spectrum compared to other clitoral pulsation suction toys.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, even within the Satisfyer range, they've got other ones that are just a bit nicer to look at, nicer to feel.
Like the curvy ones.
Yeah, you love the curvy.
They're super cute.
Another Satisfyer toy.
Yeah. There's 3 of them in the curvy range, and I think I've got all 3 actually. And they're awesome. They're just stronger. They feel better. Each one of the curvies has a different size and shape nozzle. So it means that you kind of get an option of what feels good around the same price. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think just like if you compare it to the Womanizer, the mechanism on that one you've tried, you said that's nicer.
That's my fave.
I even think like I recently just kind of, because I've dropped I haven't used my Satisfyer Pro 2, and this is the Gen 2, the rose gold one we're talking about. I hadn't used that in a while. I've been using Coco, Sheer Satisfaction. And I think the mechanism is a bit nicer on the Coco, but even just the hand feel, the look of it, the nice color, the silicone. I think the Satisfyer Pro 2 Gen 3 was smart to change it to like a silicone feel.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just think it's a little overrated.
Yeah.
I think it's had its time at the number 1 spot, and I think we're just keen to see some other cooler stuff maybe take the number 1 spot.
I think that's it.
Yeah, take a chance on a different Satisfyer toy at least.
Take a chance on something else. I actually really recommend the curvy range. I think that they feel better. I think that they're a bit stronger, and there's just something about the motor just feels, I don't know, it just feels better to me.
And the second one on our overrated list, this is one that I pitched, but I think Emma agrees, and it's Rabbit Vibes. Rabbit Vibes, I suppose, are a bit of a classic in the vulva vibrator category.
Yeah,
in the world.
for sure.
But for me, the reason I think Rabbit Vibes are overrated is I personally am just a fan of like a toy that does one function rather than both, because I feel like personally, if I'm trying to get internal and clitoral stimulation at the same time, it's just quite difficult to try and like myself with a rabbit and keep the clitoral arm on my clit.
That's it.
Am I alone?
No, and I think that's my gripe with them. If you find one that works for you, like I've got one that I fucking love, and it's because of the shape of it, but you don't know if it's going to work for you until you put it in.
No, which one's the one that you like?
So I've got one from the Rabbit Company. It's quite small. It's got rotating beads on the inside, and I don't know that it's the shape fits, because depending on where your clitoris lives in relation to your vagina and like how low it is or high it is on your body, like not every Rabbit Vibe is going to work for you.
And we have that problem with the Satisfyer Pro plus G-spot.
Yeah.
We like coined the term low clit club and high clit club in the office, because for some people, because with that one, it's clitoral suction. So you need that on the right spot. For some people, it's perfect. For a lot of people, it was just so unachievable. And there's no way of knowing, because all of our vulvas are completely different. And we don't know how to measure it.
Yeah, no.
I don't want to measure it.
No, I don't want to either. And no one's going to put that on their, like, on their listing.
Yeah, no. It'd just be weird.
I've tried that one, that Satisfyer one, and I can just get there if do I need to push up or down? But if I like push, I think it's down. If I push my whole like vulva and clitoris, like manually try and push it down to fit. And it's just not fun. Like why would I do that when I can just slap on a sucky toy on the top and then like a nice glass dildo or something down?
So what does that make you? Low clit club?
High clit, because I was pushing down, I think.
I was just trying to understand the physics of that in my head, and I was so confused.
Yes, okay, so clit's up here. I'm joking. All
right, let's not take it too far with the Tash doesn't know what she's talking about. I don't want to make people think that they can't trust me. I know where the clitoris is. It's actually not just a small little bean, guys. It's a whole thing.
Is it? What is it?
Oh, don't.
I'm joking.
It's shaped like a wishbone.
It is. It's just the tip of the iceberg that you can see on the outside.
It's got 2 little wings. Either side of the vulva.
Tash knows, okay? And that's why she's got no time for Rabbit Vibes, because she loves her clitoris and she wants her clitoris to be touched in all the right ways at all the right times. Consistently. Rabbit Vibes, you're out.
You're out. You're off the list.
You're off the list.
Don't come to the VIP party. You won't be let in at the door. Who else isn't getting let into our party?
Do you know who?
Fleshlight. What's your gripe with Fleshlight, Emma?
Okay. So just a little, just a preface, a lot of people use the term Fleshlight to cover all manner of penis masturbation toys. That's not how it works. No. Fleshlight is a brand.
It's like jacuzzi and hot tub.
Yeah.
Every jacuzzi is a hot tub. Not every hot tub is a jacuzzi. They're called Fleshlight. They look like a flashlight because you hold it like a torch. But in the end has a part of a genital on it. It's got a vulva, it's got a mouth, it's got a butt.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, we talked about like masturbator eggs being popular. I think there are more toys for penis owners to try, and I feel like Fleshlight is the number one that's there that they feel like they have to go for or they should go for, and not everyone loves it. Again, like there's no promise of kind of how tight it's going to be or how loose it's going to be, if it's going to fit for you. Like you just don't necessarily know, even though it is quite a malleable material because they're mostly made out of TPE.
Yeah.
Whereas like other more handheld masturbators, you can, change up the grip like I said before.
So my gripe is that because of the big case, it's huge.
Yeah.
And it makes it heavy and it's hard to use for a long time. And like quite often you will have to go like double-handed on it, which is fine, but it can be a little bit annoying.
Yeah.
The other thing is they are a fucking nightmare to clean.
Yeah.
And if you don't clean, I have a really disgusting story. Do you want to know?
Obviously.
Okay, this is gross, and I'm putting up a content warning now. Jay and I used to have a Fleshlight. And they always say, you have to clean it properly. You have to leave it out to dry completely. Otherwise, it can build mold and, bacteria and all sorts of shit. Oh, so, you can guess where this is heading. So we obviously used one, flung it aside. Jay actually didn't like it that much. He didn't like the sensation of it all that much.
There you go, male perspective. Overrated.
Yeah, so we just kind of flung it aside and didn't really think about it again. Unfortunately, that meant that we didn't follow any of those very particular rules about how you should clean and care for it. We found it maybe like 8 months later.
Oh.
And it was the most disgusting thing I've ever
so when you say you didn't clean it.
I mean, that there was cum in it and then we just left it. And honestly, it like fuses together. It was like black inside. It was so gross, like full of mold, completely melted in on each other, like just horrendous. Absolutely. Like that material demands care. And if you don't do it, it really gets nasty real quick.
That's a really good PSA. Like TPE, TPR materials, clean it and don't keep it for longer than 6 months.
Yeah, nah, it's not built to last. And they're expensive toys. Like Fleshlights can be quite pricey. And I know that a lot of people love them because they do feel really good. Like they were kind of the OG in that field and they do make amazing products and they work with like the big porn stars and have molds of their bodies and stuff. So you do get a very like realistic experience if that's what you're going for.
Definitely.
But if you're not committed to cleaning it and looking after it and having a double-handed job sometimes, then it's just probably not the thing for you. There are just better things like the Wanky eggs.
Yeah, the Wanky eggs, or the other one I was just thinking of, the jacket sleeve.
Oh, yeah, that's cool too.
-it.
Haha.
Those are like a good just like manual one.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of Emma and I just pushing our opinions at you. We hope you enjoyed it. Remember to follow us at Electric Rodeo Podcast on Instagram because we post lots of fun stuff there. And Emma's going to see us out.
I hope you had a great time listening to the podcast. You can't just put me on the spot like that and expect a good outro. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye. You've been listening to the Electric Rodeo podcast by Adult Toy Megastore.
Follow Electric Rodeo free on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
And to keep up to date with our bucket list progress, follow at Electric Rodeo Podcast on Instagram.